Hi everyone, and thank you for coming back and joining me for our last activity of the day, life skills. Today for life skills, we're going to be introduced to 10 new outdoor safety signs that we're then going to be practicing and learning more about on our worksheet tomorrow. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to say each of the 10 new outdoor safety signs that we're going to be learning. I'm going to talk about these signs and where you might see these signs. This is going to help us complete our worksheet tomorrow. So the first thing we're going to do is you can say each sign with me, or you can repeat back after me. Then I'll go over and talk about each of the signs and where we would see them. So we have phone, picnic area, ped Xing, pitch in, one way, school exiting, school speed limit, deaf school Xing, railroad crossing, and reserve parking. These are the 10 outdoor safety signs we're going to be learning about today, which will help us complete our worksheet tomorrow. Let's start with the first one, phone. So normally this sign you will see, it will be with a blue background and a white phone. It indicates that if you needed to use a phone, more specifically, we probably wouldn't see a lot of these signs today because most people have cell phones. Before, when a lot of people didn't have cell phones, you had to use a payphone. So this is a sign you would probably see where a payphone is near if you had to make a phone call. Picnic area. You'll see a lot of these at some of the parks that you go to, and it's an area where people can go and have a family cookout or gather with family and friends. In this picnic area, you will see benches. You will also see people maybe on grills that you can use and borrow, and that's just an area indicating that that area or that open area of space is where you can go and have a picnic. Ped Xing, it's basically an abbreviation for pedestrian exiting, meaning that if someone was to cross the street and you were a pedestrian, which that is what we are called when we're crossing the street, we're considered a pedestrian. It means that pedestrians are crossing and we just need to be aware and to make sure that if we're driving, we're mindful of them. Pitch in. So sometimes you might see these signs, and I've actually noticed one of these signs on the bike path when I was on the bike path last week, the East Bay bike path, and it's a sign that they're usually right above small garbage cans. So it's basically saying, like, don't litter. If you have an empty water bottle or a wrapper or a napkin, you should be looking for places that you can throw it out, such as a garbage can or a cycle bin, and not just throwing them around on the ground. The next one, one way. Usually you're going to see these signs sometimes on the highway or in neighborhoods. The one-way sign just indicates that that street you can only go down one way. It's not a two-way street. School Xing. So this is just indicating that a school is nearby. When students come to school or go to school, there's a lot of traffic. People crossing the street, cars are dropping students off, buses are dropping students off, so it's a very busy area. So if you are driving and you're passing a school area, you just want to take caution, which then leads us to the school speed limit. The school speed limit sign is usually hanging on a telephone pole. It also has two blinking lights. That's indicating that when school is in session, you have to obey that speed limit. It's usually around some school areas, most of them are 20 miles an hour. So it means sometimes between the hours of when school is in session, so for example, 8 to 3, and you are driving, you should go no more than 20 miles an hour while you're passing the school. Deaf school Xing, that means that people that attend those schools are deaf or hard of hearing. So that means that they wouldn't hear as maybe we would hear clearly a car coming by or a bus approaching. It's hard for them to hear those sounds. So when you're passing somebody that's deaf or hard of hearing, you need to make sure that you're taking caution. You're not honking a horn, they won't hear you. You need to make sure that you're not speeding and you're driving at a slow and safe speed. The next one is railroad crossing. We do have a few railroad crossing signs that are pretty much local, and that means that if you're driving and you have to cross over the railroad tracks, you want to make sure that it's safe to do so. Most of the time where the railroad crossing is, there's usually a light. If it's red, that means that you need to stop because the train could be coming by. If it's green or blinking lights, that means that it's safe to cross over, but you still want to take caution. And then the next one, reserve parking. Sometimes you might see those. We have, for example, if you go to the supermarket, there's always handicap reserve parking. Reserve parking means that it's safe for a specific person or individual. So if you have, for example, a handicap sign or a handicap sticker, you can park in the reserved handicap spot. If you do not have a handicap sign or sticker, then you shouldn't be parking there. Also in big businesses, sometimes at the hospitals or doctor's office, doctors or staff have a reserved parking sign. So that means that that sign is specifically reserved for them. If you are not them, you should not be parking there. So those are our 10 outdoor safety signs that we're going to be working with more tomorrow. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction of these signs to help us complete our worksheet tomorrow. But just to close out our life skills lesson, let's go and repeat the 10 outdoor safety signs that we learned today. You can read along with me or repeat back after me. Phone, picnic area, pet Xing, pitch-in, one way, school Xing, school speed limit, deaf school Xing, railroad crossing, and reserve parking. We'll see more of these signs tomorrow in our life skills activity. That is going to be it for today, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another day of learning. And tomorrow, we're going to begin our new and final packet. So all of our work will be completed now in the new packet that was mailed home to you last week. Have a great day, everybody.